In this first video, I want to show you how to use the SolidWorks CAD software on the school server. When you log in, you should see this icon. There are other subsets of the SolidWorks software, but you want the 2018 SolidWorks. It is a CAD software, and when you're using a CAD software, the CAD sort of short form or acronym stands for Computer Aided Design. The computer helps you do your design. So it's a tool for designers who want to come up with some product design, something that they're working on, and they'll use a software package that helps them do that kind of design. And SolidWorks is one of those kinds of software. When you launch it, it will come up looking something like this. It may or may not have a box that looks something like this. Sometimes it will have recent ones that you've opened recently below, but typically we're looking for these two. To start off, I'm going to start with this one, just making a part, a 3D representation of a simple part. So when you click on this and go like that, you'll get a whole bunch of menus popping up on the screen, and hopefully it looks something like that. You may have this one with the file, all the familiar kind of options there. It may not be pinned, so it's kind of hiding behind. You may want to just pin it so it launches there, and then you should see these other ones locked in as well. Some of the familiar icons that you've seen before. To start this tutorial, I just want to draw a simple rectangular prism, a simple cubic box or rectangular box. Like most things in SolidWorks, when you're going to start, you're making a sketch. So I'm going to start here by clicking on the Sketch tab. Under here is Sketch, where you make or create a sketch, and we can add in all kinds of different elements, but I'm going to start something relatively simple. When you're using SolidWorks under Sketch, you will often see, well, not just under Sketch, sorry, under a lot of places, you'll see this familiar X, where it's giving you a sort of a message or a warning or something. And right now they're warning me, say, well, if you want to make a sketch, you better click somewhere you're going to draw this sketch. And in this case, it's a plane. You see these three-dimensional planes. This familiar orange, when you're working in SolidWorks, this orange color shows up a lot. So I can start where I want to draw, and most times I just start on the front plane. Not that it really matters, but I just do it that way. So right now I'm drawing in my front plane, and it's rotating it for me to see. I'm going to start off with a simple rectangle, and you can do it different ways if you drop down the menu, but I'm going to do the center rectangle. Doesn't really matter, but you can start. There's that orange again. When I snap it to the center of that, I click, hold my button down, and there's my rectangle. And you'll notice just to the right of my cursor where the little pencil showing, it's showing you roughly the size in X and Y, those dimensions. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to click something around 4 inches square, and I'm going to let it go. There's another familiar one. It's not a red X, but a green check mark. It's giving you the option for this rectangle to do different things and different parameters. But most times, just click OK. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to go to Smart Dimension and click it to the exact size that I want. There's that familiar orange again. See that little ruler on the cursor? Come in. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to put my dimension. Now, most times style-wise, you can put this anywhere you want, but it's good style to go out away from the piece, maybe a few centimeters, and it's good style to put the actual numbers somewhere in the middle. I'm just dragging around, but somewhere in the middle, a little bit off the piece, and I click. It asks me, are you sure that's the dimension you want? No, that's not what I want, and I'm going to enter in exactly what I want, 4 inches exactly, 3 decimal places. I can click enter or just click on there, and boom, that's exactly 4 inches. Still in Smart Dimension mode, so I'm going to go over here and click, bring my dimension up, center it approximately, and just to be different, 5.500, okay, to 3 decimal places. And I'll click OK. And Now my rectangle is complete. I'm finished with the dimension tool, so I can click on that. And over here is another familiar icon, okay, the little X. If I click X, it's going to cancel all those changes. If I hit the arrow, say, okay, I'm done with sketching because I'm over here, I'm in sketch mode, I'm going to be done with that, and I jump out of there. And presto, there's my first sketch. Doesn't look like much, but watch over here. I click the Features tab, and I can do Extrude. It will three-dimension that. There's that orange color again. I grab it, and I pull. And now I'm extruding it out. I'm extruding out that rectangular shape that I had, and I can extrude it out anywhere I want in terms of distance. The ruler, if you see that ruler just moving underneath, showing you roughly the number, but it's not very accurate. It represents right here, and what I often do is type in exactly what I want, and I press enter. If I'm happy with that as an extrusion, again, I can exit or I can click it and I'll accept it. And then I'm done. There is my simple box. I'm going to save that, and under there, I'll just call it a simple block shape. And then I'm done. One more thing before we change or finish this tutorial, is over here. These are the properties of the design that you're working. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I'm going to start right there. There's that first sketch. You can see it in the background. I can go in and change my mind. I can say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go in and make it I don't want 5.5. I want 6.5. It will automatically adjust it. I could change 4. Say, you know what? I'm going to make it 4.250 and click it. Automatically accepts it, and I'm going to accept those changes, and the new box is those new changes. When I go into extrude, I can do the same thing. I can edit the extrude feature that I had. So I go in there, and there's that my familiar orange arrow. I could do that manually, or I can type in what I'm thinking, 2.750, 2 3/4, and I press enter, and it accepts that. So under here, I can change my mind as a designer. That's what the computer-aided part is real good about. Click Save, so it makes those changes. Now, good bookkeeping. Sketch 1 is an awful thing to call your bag. You should rename them just like you do when you're making computer files and stuff. You don't accept the default name. So I'm going to call that base of the block. So I remember what it was. And this, I'm going to rename it, instead of Boss Extrude 1, I'm going to rename it the main block shape. Then I'm done. So that's the end of the first video. I hope you can give that a try when you're using SolidWorks to practice. Thank you.